So I think it's important to have both a little bit of warrior and farmer, but in my opinion, I think What's up and welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. Today, we're going to be talking about the farmer versus the warrior mindset. Now, I really love the warrior mindset. I think of the movie 300 and Leonidas and yelling, this is Sparta, and kicking the dude down the hole. All very cool stuff, muscles and spears and shields and all of that. Super badass. Movies like The Gladiator or Troy with people just destroying their enemies and I've always felt something in terms of like, yeah, wow, that's awesome. Cool fight scene, super motivational. Or even I think it was Troy where Brad Pitt, some kid comes up to him and is like, oh, you're so brave, like I could never do that, or whatever he says. And then it's kind of a douchey thing to say, but he's like, and that's why no one will remember you, or no one will remember your name. And it just reminds you to put yourself out there, be something, make something of yourself. I do love that, but I think it's important to know that the warrior approach, the only downside is it's like sales. You eat what you kill. It's a hamster wheel, right? You can crush it and really do great one month, and the next month might be nothing. In terms of 300 or something, you may have a great battle where you just destroy your enemies, and then the next battle, like half your people get wiped out, And so the thing that I don't like about the warrior mindset is that while you get to enjoy the wins and you have that dopamine hit, you only get to rest a little bit. It's like a lion that kills a gazelle successfully. It gets to bring back that gazelle to eat, to share with its family. And I don't know how long it takes for them to eat a gazelle. I would imagine not very long, but they start to get hungry again. They've got to go back out there and find the next deal, right? The next kill. It's a never ending process. You have to do it again and again. I've been personally shifting more to that farmer mindset, that long-term approach, just understanding that I need to continue to plant seeds here, there, everywhere. Just keep on planting seeds. Not all of them are going to grow into anything. Some of them are going to die. Some of them are going to fly away. Some bugs or plants are going to destroy some of them. Or did I say plants? Some bugs or plants are going to destroy, whatever. Pesticides, they're going to destroy some of the seeds that you plant, but knowing that if you continue to plant seeds over and over and over again, you will reap a harvest. And while change may not be noticeable anytime soon, it takes forever. If you've ever done the little thing where you put the pinto bean, in elementary school, you put it in a pot and you wait for it to grow, and you see this tiny little leaf start to peek out, and then the leaves pop out, and then it starts to sprout. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes a couple of days, at least weeks, months, years in some cases, for the seeds that you plant to actually come to fruition. And so I think that's the frustrating thing for a lot of us, is that since we can't physically see the process or the progress, rather, the noticeable change isn't happening fast enough for us before our eyes. So we feel like, hey, this isn't working. What's the point of this? I'm spending all this time, effort, and energy, and I'm not seeing anything in return. When you look at the warrior mindset, you can go out there, hustle, get a deal, boom, money in your bank account, within a month in some cases. And you're like, okay, I see the results. This is exciting. And you continue to do that. And then you get burnt out because it's just not as sustainable as coming from the farmer approach, planting those seeds, creating, long form content, blog posts, YouTube videos, podcasts, things that will live on, that people can continue to find you and listen to your content over time, over the next several years. I keep getting DMs from people who heard me on another podcast today that I recorded a year ago, 2 years ago. That's an example of planting seeds, putting yourself out there, looking at the long-term approach instead of just me cold calling for 4 hours and getting a deal. Great. That's fantastic. It puts money in the bank today, pays the bills, but how sustainable is that? Do I want to be picking up the phone and calling people 4 hours a day every day? No, I do not. So I think it's important to have both a little bit of warrior and farmer, but in my opinion, I think it makes more sense to kind of start to lean more into the farmer mindset of the long term, having the long-term game or playing the long game, because people want the quick win. They want that win today. If you focus on the big picture and you're in it for the long haul, that's when things start to compound and you can truly grow that business, and whatever lifestyle and goals that you have for yourself, they can truly explode in terms of growth, in terms of leverage. You can start to leverage other people's time, effort, and energy instead of having to just rely on your own grit and motivation and willpower on a daily basis. And one other way to look at this is kind of a microwave versus a crockpot mentality. A lot of times we want that microwave mentality. We want it done in 3 minutes. Personally, I have meal prep food and I microwave all my food, and I am pretty impatient. I don't like to chop vegetables and cook things and spend an hour smelling all these aromas only to eat a meal and create all these dishes for myself. So that's not something that I like to do. Personally, I prefer to microwave for the convenience. When you have food in the crock pot or when you take time to create that home fresh cooked meal, it tastes better. It's a better meal. It's not comparable in terms of taste and experience and smell and aroma. So it depends on what you're wanting, because convenience, the easy things, the fast things, they're not going to be as rewarding as the things that take more time, the crock pot stuff, the food that takes more time to prepare and let simmer and all of those things. That's when you can kind of see that farmer versus warrior mentality. Warriors like the microwave, it's instant. Farmers like the crock pot, it takes a little more time, but the results are going to be a lot better. And so which one are you? Just take some time to think about it today. Do you tend to lean more into the warrior mindset? Like, let's get it done. Let's do this deal. Let's hustle, hustle, hustle. Or do you have a little bit of farmer in you? I'm just curious to know. Feel free to drop them in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. I think it is important to have a little bit of both, but if you had to pick one over the other, lean into the farmer mindset. The warrior mindset's great, but make sure to embrace that farmer mindset. So that's all I have for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.